All right, let's just get the most important headline out of the way at the beginning of the video. Eminem is now a Cincinnati Bengal. What's up, everyone? It is Josh Butts here from No Butts About It. Today, we're going to talk about the Bengals headlines that we've seen leading up to training camp and what I'm expecting or excited to see in training camp. We've had a little bit start this week, but next week is the first full week of training camp, and this is what I'm going to be looking out for. Obviously, this is old news. Joe Burrow is now a blonde. He shaved his head. He looks like Eminem. He looks like Cody Rhodes. He looks like Amber Rose. There's a bunch of comparisons I've seen. I've also saw, Eminem's new album is called The Death of Slim Shady. I saw someone say Eminem killed Slim Shady and he came back as Joe Burrow. So get that out of the way early on. Not a super important headline, but that's what people were talking about. Real quick, though, if you'd be so kind, please go hit the subscribe button down below because we really appreciate it, trying to turn this into a full-time thing, and every subscription helps. Even you just watching this video helps. So we appreciate you for already doing that. You've already helped us out more than we could hope. And you could help us out a little bit more by hitting that subscribe button. Let's get into it, though. So before we get ahead of ourselves, what am I already excited about that we've heard? The biggest thing that I've heard already, Zach Taylor has said that we will be seeing starters in the preseason. Now, for the most part, this is a completely new thing that we have not seen in the Zach Taylor era of the Cincinnati Bengals, and it has arguably been the greatest downfall to the Cincinnati Bengals at the beginning of the season. For 2 seasons in a row, they've started 0-2. You can't do that going into the NFL season, especially in a competitive division like the AFC North. Every game counts. And now Zach Taylor, he's changing up his philosophy. He's changing up his understanding, getting these guys conditioned, ready to go in the preseason. Probably won't see a ton of snaps, but even just a few for the starters is going to be huge. I'm super excited about that. You can dig yourself out of that 0-2 hole. The Bengals did it and they went to the Super Bowl, but at the same time, it's a lot easier to go to the Super Bowl when you're not starting the season in a 0-2 hole. So love this from Zach Taylor. I love that he is recognizing that maybe something he was doing wasn't working, and now he's going to change that. He's going to look to alter that, try to figure out, can we improve something? And I think this will be a huge improvement, and it should also help cut down on early injuries because these guys' bodies will be conditioned. They'll have already been taking some harder hits. They'll be used to that recovery time and such. So very, 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 very excited to hear that. And then the other headline that has been plaguing Bengals timelines is Ja'Marr Chase, his extension. Is Ja'Marr Chase going to get extended? According to Adam Schefter, it's not going to happen. According to Adam Schefter, Mike Brown is too cheap to pay Ja'Marr Chase what he deserves. But that's not what Mike Brown said. Mike Brown said on Monday, he's a key player. Next to Joe, he's our next one, and he knows it. We know it. This may take a while. He said it may not happen this year because the offseason is just, it's over. And the offseason is the time to get those things done for the most part. So does that mean now that we're not going to see a Ja'Marr Chase extension this season? No. Mike Brown said we're going to bend over backwards to get it done. Is it likely to come soon? No. I would have said, about few hours ago, it's not going to happen this offseason. He'll play on the 5th-year option or get an extension before that. He's got that 20, I think it's like 21.8 million on the 5th-year option. But then I saw this, and this is very interesting to me. And this could just be Willie Anderson trying to get some farming, some engagement on Twitter or X. But Willie Anderson, future Hall of Famer for the Cincinnati Bengals, said, "My other Bengals video I was sworn to secrecy, not to release till Tuesday. M. Brown spending that money. Hashtag Houday. Who else would he be talking about? Who else would Mike Brown be spending money on? What would Mike Brown be spending money on? This is exciting. We could see a Jamar Chase extension coming up. Maybe Jamar was like, you know what? I'm tired of the drama. T. Higgins said he was tired of the drama. Jamar doesn't seem like a guy who likes a ton of drama unless he's the one creating the drama. But I don't think he's enjoying all of these questions about contract extensions and his loyalty to the Cincinnati Bengals or having that questioned. Maybe they've already got something in the works and they're going to announce it Monday or Tuesday. So let's keep our heads down for that. Let's keep our ears ready to hear that extension coming up. But if it doesn't come within the next week or so, I wouldn't expect it to come this season, especially because Justin Jefferson's already been extended. So like we kind of already know how much he's going to ask for. But that being said, I am excited for that potential to happen. The next thing that I am going to be watching for, now I'm in Indiana, so I can't be down at Cincinnati Bengals training camp all the time or at all because I have work, unfortunately. Like I said, trying to make this a full-time thing. So if we could do that, I could be at Bengals training camp more often. I could go to Colts training camp. I wouldn't have to go to work, and we could provide better coverage for you. So just another plug for subscriptions. But I am going to be looking for videos of Joe Burrow throwing to this man right here. Jermaine Burton, third-round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals out of Alabama, wide receiver. And the Bengals already had a great wide receiver room. You had Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Trenton Irwin, Andre Yoshivas, Charlie Jones, and now you're adding Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton is fighting for that wide receiver 3 spot left vacant by Tyler Boyd's absence, leaving to go to Tennessee in free agency. Miss Tyler Boyd, of course. But Jermaine Burton and Andre Yoshivas appear to be making great cases, by the way, both of them, for that wide receiver 3 spot. And I just want to see more from the rookie. I know what I can get out of Andre Yoshivas. This is what we're getting out of Jermaine. On TikTok, by the way. And let's just watch that one more time. And I want to see more of that. I love that we're already seeing this connection. And that is the second time we have seen a video coming out of practice for the Cincinnati Bengals where Joe Burrow and Jermaine Burton have a great connection and a great catch. And I do not think that will be the last. I am excited for that to be the move. The other guy who has been also making a case for himself to get that wide receiver 3 spot is Andre Yoshivas. And like I said, we have seen Andre Yoshivas already. We've seen him make catches. That is him making a catch for a touchdown. So obviously a very impressive catch right there. And we will continue to follow that competition. We'll see who the wide receiver 3 is by the end of training camp, I assume, week 1. And maybe it'll come down to preseason. Maybe we'll see them both play in the preseason, and Zach will then decide who is the wide receiver 3 based on that. But I fully expect to see both of them playing in the regular season. You got a big body like Andre Yoshivas, who could be a good complement to T, who's another big body. If T needs to come out for some snaps or gets injured, Andre Yoshivas can go right in, be the same type of player. Jermaine Burton is a deep threat. He's quick. And I enjoyed watching the ball. We made that draft video about him where we talked about how quick he is off the line. And I think he will be a great deep threat, similar to Jamar Chase. So we have a ton of talent at that wide receiver room, and that wide receiver 3 spot is up for grabs. So I'm going to be watching that battle with great care. Another thing that we need to be paying attention to as Cincinnati Bengals fans is the new O-line and the O-line chemistry and development. Now, of course, Trent Brown is already on the PUP list, and we have Amarius Mims, as I've talked about in the last video I made about the Cincinnati Bengals. But then this video came out where, so left to right here, if you're looking at the screen, you get Amarius, or that's Trent Brown standing there. And then you see, I believe that's Frank Pollock, who the O-line coach. And then you get Amarius Mims in number 71. And then this short guy over here who kind of looks like Kevin Hart standing next to the Rock is Zach Moss, the running back, 5'9". Look how tiny he looks. He looks like a little kid standing next to these other two guys, both 6'8", obviously, so over a foot or just about a foot taller than Zach Moss. So that kind of gives you an idea of the size of these players that they're bringing in to protect Joe Burrow. That's super exciting. I want to see their chemistry develop. I want to see them stop these defensive linemen in practice. And these defensive linemen are also going to need practice. So we've got some young guys. McKinley Jackson was out there today, late round pick. He was out there playing, I believe, nose tackle and going up against Ted Karras. So that's exciting to see these guys already getting involved, very young, and seeing them go up against strong linemen like Ted Karras and be able to move them. But I want to see this O-line click, and I want to see Joe Burrow finally get the protection he deserves. He is the franchise. This next one is a passion project. It is. I really think I might be the only one on YouTube right now kind of trying to hype this guy up. And I just really like what I've seen from him. And I'll grant you this. When he was initially drafted, I wasn't sure. Late round tight end, Tanner McLachlan. I have liked what I've seen. His stats aren't the most exciting in the world. I'll give you that. But I want to see him make the team. I want to see this man make the 53-man roster. He has just excited me. He's become the guy. Every year there's a guy who I just kind of fall in love with during the draft. And I think this year it's going to be Tanner McLachlan. Last year it was Jordan Battle, who we will get to in a minute. But Tanner McLachlan, I just love his athleticism. I think he's a great blocker. I made a whole video about this already, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. But I mean, he has the potential to be what the Bengals haven't had in a long time. They haven't had a guy who can do both. They have had a bunch of tight ends who are either really good receivers and awful at blocking, or they're awful at blocking, or they're really good blockers, but they're awful at receiving. Drew Sample, for example. I think Tanner McLachlan can do both. And I want to see him make the 53-man roster. Yes, I know he's on ESPN's like top 5 most likely to not make the 53-man roster, but I want to see him prove the haters wrong. I want to see Tanner McLachlan make the 53-man roster. I want to see him in preseason. I am rooting for him. And he has beat Gronk's records at Arizona when he was there. So, like, I mean, there's something. If there's something you need to really kind of buy into hoping for this guy, even as a tight end 3, I just want to have him as the option, as an option. He beat Gronk's records at Arizona. Just let me have it. Just let me have this one thing, and maybe he'll get a chance in a game and he will prove that he deserves to be on the roster. That's who I'm watching, though. I want to see him just light it up. I'm excited to see Tanner McLachlan. This is the most excited I've been to watch the tight end room as a whole in a long time, because you've got Mike Gesicki, you have Drew Sample, who could be getting moved to fullback, in which case, if you have 3 tight ends, then and Eric All has those injury issues, if those flare up again, then, I mean, I don't want them to, but I'm just saying, like, then you'd have Mike Gesicki, you'd have Eric All, you have Tanner Hudson, and Tanner McLachlan. One of those 3. I'm just saying, just let me have it. Let me have it. And here in a few months, we'll be talking about how great of a tight end Tanner McLachlan was and how I was right. Just let me have it. Because there are people that hated Jordan Battle. And that's the next guy who I want to watch the battle for battle at the safety position between Jordan Battle and Von Bell. Both of these guys are players that I love. But here's the thing. Jordan Battle is much younger than Von Bell, and Von Bell is coming back to the team, I believe, in a leadership role, but to also help that run defense from the safety position. I think that will be very helpful. But I think all Bengals fans should be hoping that this man wins the battle, that he becomes the starter. He was the highest ranked rookie safety or rookie DB, something like that, by PFF last season. He looked great. He was all over the field. He was so fun to watch. Chuss is also a huge fan of Jordan Battle. Just very exciting stuff to see from that young man. And you want to see your younger players beat out your older players, especially when your older players are on shorter contracts. So I'm hoping we see Jordan Battle come in right where he left off, maybe improved a little bit going into his sophomore season, and we see him beat out Von Bell for the starting safety position, and he can line up as a complement to Geno Stone, and that safety backfield, that back third is going to be so nice. It's going to be such a great setup for the Cincinnati Bengals compared to last year when it was Nick Scott and Dax Hill, but also Jordan Battle. No, let's have some established guys. Jordan Battle, Geno Stone. That's what I want. I want to watch Jordan Battle beat Von Bell. I don't want to just watch them battle it out. I want to watch Jordan Battle win it. And I'm saying that as a Von Bell fan. So I think that's everything right now that I wanted to see. Again, we could be here in a few days talking about a Jamar Chase extension. Just keep your eyes out for that. I will also be keeping my eyes out for that as well. But that's what I'm looking forward to going into the first full week of Bengals training camp. So let me know what you are looking forward to down in the comments. Are you excited to see any particular player? Maybe Chris Jenkins is someone who you're just super excited to watch, or Josh Newton, or maybe you just want to see Joe Burrow throw passes to whoever. You don't care. Let me know down below. I always love reading all of your comments. And until next time, go do something nice for someone, even if that someone is me, by subscribing below. See you next time.